In today's episode of Advertising Insights, I'm talking to Cornelia Villa. She's the CMO of Medwing, and we talked about the differences between B2C and B2B marketing. Have fun in this episode.
One of my main mantras is target narrow, catch wide. Hello, I'm Cornelia Villa. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Medwing. I'm looking back at a career of more than 17 years, both in B2C and B2B industries. My background is in strategy, but the last couple of years I've been working in general management positions. Until mid last year, I was the managing director of Xing, the German professional network, competitor of LinkedIn. This is why my experience in marketing is quite broad, both B2C as well as B2B, and in particular in the interaction with other functions.
Sounds very interesting. As you said, you are now the new CMO of Medwing. What made you decide to take up the CMO position at Medwing after Xing?
Well, let me first introduce Medwing to you because that makes it easier to explain why I changed. So Medwing's purpose is to close the healthcare talent gap. Globally, there will be a shortage of healthcare professionals on the scale of 18 million until 2030. Mm-hmm. So this is a huge problem. Mm-hmm. And Medwing is solving that problem by matching healthcare professionals to the jobs that really fit their life. So coming back to the reasons why I changed, the first reason is purpose. One of my main drivers is having an impact. I believe in constant evolution and in changing for the better. So at some point in my life, I decided for myself that as my next challenge, I would like to use my experience and all the things that I've learned so far and give something back to society and work on a bigger purpose. Mm-hmm. So this is the reason why I decided to join Medwing, which is a really innovative scale-up. Where I can have an impact and really help growing a business, but at the same time serving a bigger purpose.
Coming to your goals, what are your goals for the near future?
Taking a look where marketing at Medwing stands at the moment. So in the past, a large part of the growth came from performance marketing. So looking forward into the future, we would like to have a marketing that has a wider focus. Mm-hmm. So all about really building up a brand, creating brand awareness, to continuing to attract candidates and healthcare professionals to the platform, but then also engaging and retaining them, so continuously engaging. Since our target group of healthcare professionals is quite specific and narrow, one of the challenges we need to continuously tackle is finding new channels how to reach our target group. Mm-hmm. So this is really an experimentation approach, continuously testing and learning. Since Medwing is a digital product, it's all about creating user experiences and user journeys.
Let's jump into our first topic, B2C and B2B marketing. Mm-hmm. You were previously responsible for all the B2C marketing at Xing. Let's take a look behind the scenes. What were your goals and what hurdles have you faced in the B2C market?
We obviously had objectives along the whole funnel. Mm-hmm. So it was all about building a brand, creating brand awareness, attracting users to the platform, engaging users, but also upselling them to B2C memberships and then also retaining them. One of the main challenges in the last couple of years is really sharpening the brand positioning and then repositioning Xing in the market. One of my main mantras is target narrow, catch wide. So it was really important to segment our user base, to really understand who we have and who we would like to focus on. If I zoom out now a little bit on a general level, challenges in the B2C market, They're very much along those lines because it's all about catching the user's attention. And for me, the two main ingredients for that are having a clear brand positioning and really understanding your users, having a clear segmentation, but then also to focus on specific target groups. If you want to create awareness, you really need to be relevant for your user group and you need to stand out and be differentiated from your competitors. So the first bucket is all around creating awareness and catching the user's awareness. And then the second big challenge, in my opinion, is then also really creating that emotional bond. It's all about getting the combination between data-driven marketing and emotional bonding right, because there is a trade-off there.
Emotion seems like a key word in that sense.
Yeah.
You are not only responsible for B2C marketing, but also for B2B marketing activities at Andritz, for example. What were your biggest challenges in the B2B marketing strategy?
Andritz Separation is an industrial goods company selling centrifuges. So it doesn't get more industrial than that. When I joined them, there was a very strong focus on sales. And the role of marketing was to support sales and taking a look at the marketing materials. They had marketing flyers with a picture of the centrifuge and then mainly the technical specifications of the centrifuge. But the B2B marketing actually works very similar to the B2C marketing. It's all about creating an emotional bond. It's all about value-based selling. So it's super important as well in the B2B market to create an emotional bond to your customer, because at the end of the day, you don't want your customer to take a look at your marketing materials and they take a look at the specifications of the Chinese competitor and then decide for the Chinese competitor because the price is lower. So what we did at Andritz is to start telling stories. So one of the customer segments of Andritz Separation is baby food producers. And actually the Andritz centrifuge is a very important part in ensuring that the quality of the baby food is high. So you can create beautiful stories around that. It all starts with the baby and the parents of the baby who want to make sure that the baby gets the best start into life with high quality baby food. And that's why the baby food producer actually needs an Andritz centrifuge in order to ensure high quality. So all about storytelling, all about infusing emotion into a very industrial goods market. But as you can see, it's possible.
Sounds very interesting. Coming to my next topic, campaigns. Which channel did you use as your marketing tools for campaigns?
At Medwing, we're actually focusing on a very specific target group of healthcare professionals. So far, we've had a very strong focus on performance marketing. So obviously, we're talking about Google, Facebook, and Instagram. I said before that now, looking forward, we're going to focus more on branding, creating brand awareness. We're actually looking at new channels. Since we're also a very local business, we're considering things like doing digital out-of-home campaigns very locally. We've also just started with social media and with influencer marketing. And as said before, we're always experimenting and trying to find new channels to reach our target group. So at the moment, we're also experimenting with TikTok because we want to reach our target group in a very relevant context with relevant messaging, speak the language they understand.
And maybe you can also create some emotions on TikTok as
well. Totally.
What placement opportunities do you see for brands in general?
On an objective level, for brand awareness, it's obviously more the traditional channels. So it's TV, it's radio, it's out of home, it's digital out of home, it's media partnerships, could be events as well. Then taking a look at conversion, it's obviously more about Google, Facebook, Amazon for e-commerce. But then thinking about bonding and engagement, it's all about really creating engaged communities on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, but also CRM. So many channels and so many things, how you can reach your target group. The more popular channels, I mean, everyone is on there. It's more difficult to catch the attention of the users, and it might even be more expensive. In my opinion, you really need to have an experimentation mindset, try out different things, stay agile, iterate, and really find out which of the other channels. I mean, on the big ones, you need to be on there to be present, but all the rest is really trying out and finding out where you can reach the target group that you want to be reaching.
Are there any essential learnings you took away from the past campaigns?
Totally. It all starts with having a clear brand positioning, because that's the basis for storytelling. And it's really important to be clear on your segmentation, to really select your target group and rather narrow, and then really understand what they need and how you can target them. And lastly, on the preparation bit is having clear objectives and not too many objectives. It's difficult saying I want to create brand awareness and have conversion. You need to focus on one and then make sure that you measure it. Then on the campaign itself, as I said before, it's all about storytelling. It's about telling stories. It's about being creative, standing out, and really having an impact, and really touching the audience. And last but not least, taking a look at channels. It's super important to run campaigns on multiple channels. Last but not least, all the traditional channels like TV, radio, out of home are not dead, because they are essential to really create brand awareness.
I really like to hear that, because for me, working at Frame, it's very interesting to hear, or nice to hear, that out of home is not dead. What role did digital out of home play in your campaigns?
With Medwing, we were considering doing digital out of home. At Xing, we actually use digital out of home for two things. So at the beginning of each year, we had a big year start campaign. So it was running multi-channel. So we used TV, radio, out of home, digital out of home to really create brand awareness. So this was one bit as part of a multi-channel campaign. But we also did a very specific digital out of home campaign for Zurich. Just running in Zurich to really target our user base and potential users and our audience in a very specific city, and to really try to catch their attention.
How did you measure the performance of your out-of-home campaigns?
So in the first case, where it was part of a multi-channel campaign, it was all about creating brand awareness. So here it was all part of the brand lift study to really understand how has the brand perception and brand awareness changed. And for the campaign that we ran in Zurich, we actually used specific QR codes and landing pages to measure it.
Sounds like a very nice campaign. Coming to my last topic and looking a bit into the future, let's talk about targeting. Where do you see the trend in the coming years?
Well, I personally believe that, as I said before, targeting is super important, and it will become only more important. Targeting is already becoming more and more difficult, in particular on performance marketing channels. And it's going to be even more difficult in the future, thinking about a cookie-free future where things like first-party data, where things like contextual advertising will become more difficult. A trend that we see just recently is, I call it nano communities, really based around very specific interests and passions. So that will make your target group even more fragmented. So I believe it's all about having an experimentation mindset, being agile, trying out new things, and then probably also shifting budgets and resources between those different channels.
Do you see any other trends?
One of the things that I see at the moment is really a trend to build up internal agencies in your marketing department. And this is how we work at Medwing as well. We really have built up a small internal agency, and we create all our campaigns, creatives, designs ourselves. And we have been really successful with that. Just recently, we have been recognized at the Berlin Marketing Awards.
Congratulations.
And we were competing with all these campaigns, big campaigns created by external agencies with a lot of marketing budgets. And for me, that was a huge accomplishment to really be among the top 3 campaigns out of 400. With a campaign that was created by our small internal agency with a low budget, but still having a big impact. So this is a trend that I see really building up internal agencies, because at the end of the day, you know your users, your target group the best. You're closest to the data around your target group. So I think it will become more and more difficult for external agencies to compete with that.
And then you can create emotions and storytelling.
Exactly.
Very nice. Thank you for your insights. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and we're looking for the future and for the future for Medwing.
Thank you so much.